sass. She paused for a moment as she told him she had a name and didn't need his cute talk because he's not impressing anybody, and went back to her house and sat on her front porch, outlooking the pastures and the horse corral where they ran and gallivant around, as it was soothing to her to watch peacefully, at least before it gets interrupted. Hey! Walks up to the chair, stopped at the second, wiping off his hands with a rag and placing it in his back pocket. What's up with the dude? That's not very ladylike. At that point, she was irritated as she tells him, let's get something straight right now. You may have worked for my grandparents, but we're not friends. I don't need to explain anything to you, so why don't you just back off, okay? As he turned around and walked away, she had made best friends with one of her neighbors, whom lived 3 miles down the road to the left, Arkina, and feels very comfortable talking to her about almost anything at all, which is rare. What the fuck moment. Out of nowhere, as she sat on her patio, an overhang, she heard a noise, loudly saying, "Yee-haw! Ride 'em, cowboy!" As she saw a trash can cut in half on wheels with a blonde-haired skinny dude sitting inside, flying down the hill in the field to her right with his hands up waving, and before you know it, it flipped forward and was laying on top of him with his ass up in the air. She died laughing after her eyes got huge. Briefly, she laughed so hard she had to lean over her railing and grab her stomach. Her stomach was hurting for laughing so hard. As you faintly heard a voice say, "Not funny," as she just laughed harder before going in to make another cup of coffee, still giggling a little in the process. It was completely hilarious, a total you have to see it. After that, she sat there the whole evening, just in peace and quiet, hearing nothing but the animals and the wildlife, as she was the only one in sight. As around 6, she popped open a bottle of Shine with chunks of mixed fruit inside and a baggie of rollies, and her surround sound playing 80s hair bands, with the door open, having a party with herself and enjoying the night. By the mid of the night, she wore a crop top, sports-like top, black, with her normal jeans and leather lace-up, thick goth-like solid-heeled boots to her knees. Chains hanging off of them, clearly glitter eyeshadow with black cat eyes, goth look with falsy lashes and plum lip stain. Her hair down to her elbows, the slinky long curls with a baseball hat and 2 shots in a J later. It was like a zombie town, as the streets were empty, no one was home. She even had a huge stone bonfire and folding tables with hot dogs, hamburgers, salads, coolers, and 3 to be exact, full coolers of ice and Bud Light with Fireball, mini liquor bottles, Jack and Jim. She had planned this for months, but been too busy getting settled, used to her surroundings, of course. She didn't realize she would be alone. She wouldn't be alone as they were all pulling into her driveway as Arkina called, and she was buzzed as she laughed and said, "Yeah, I don't care. Y'all can come over. I kinda got the munchies." And made all this food and these trays of liquor, jello shots, and 5 trays of stacked pop brownies. And she laughed hysterically. Oh. Her house sat back from the road about 100 feet, so it was all grass, and trucks started parking on the lawn and dropping tailgates and started mingling and talking amongst one another, eating, drinking, laughing, acting dumb, as the guys do when they get together and drink. She just laughed, sitting on her picnic table 15 feet away from her bonfire with her cigs, J's, and her bottle in hand, watching, enjoying the night as her girlfriend sat next to her and joined her as she drank and sang along, joked around, and had a good time. At this point, the night is still young, only being about 7:30 p.m. As she was drinking and smoking, she noticed randomly that the stone elf was standing at the other end of the picnic table, as it startled her, and she fell off of the table top and on the grass, as Arkina fell on the ground, laughing her ass off, rolling on the ground, hysterical. Oh, you should have seen your face.